Hello, you are listening to the OmniTalk Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Firework, Trigo, Sezzle, and Silk. A new sip and stroll law is set to take effect this week at Arizona shopping centers. Shout out to Najla Kayam, one of the listeners of the show. I wonder if she was involved in this because I know she's very involved in the Arizona Shopping District Center, and I would love to walk around and sip and stroll with Najla sometime.
Yeah.
But according to Chain Store Age, beginning today, January 12th, shopping centers with at least 400,000 square feet of gross leasing area will be able to obtain licenses that allow customers to leave bars and restaurants and explore the properties with everything from pints to pina coladas in hand. Desert Ridge and Tempe Marketplace, you know those places?
Shout out. Yeah, dude, I grew up like 2 miles from Tempe Marketplace.
I know. Were you lobbying for this law to go through? We'll find out.
I might have had some influence.
All right.
Indirectly.
Both of those facilities are owned and operated by Vestar, who will be the first to implement the new law. And for context, Desert Ridge is also the most visited shopping center in Arizona.
Yeah, that's huge.
Tenants there include Kohl's, AMC Theaters, Dave & Buster's, H&M, Barnes & Noble, Ross, and Old Navy. And even more than that,
the
Chris.
Normal cast of characters.
Was that where you hung out? Was Desert Ridge?
No, Desert Ridge is new. That wasn't there when I was there.
But
actually, the Tempe Marketplace is new too. I was hanging out at Fiesta Mall, which is completely abandoned and still exists. It's like sitting in Mesa. It's a huge mall and just nothing is going on there. It's just totally
imagine
abandoned.
Like crumbling paint from like an adobe structure.
That is
like,
what it is. It's terrible. Like I don't know when they're going to redevelop it. I think the plans to redevelop it are coming soon. But yeah, no, I mean, like shout out to my home state of Arizona for being, they've got their priorities in order on this one, and
okay.
For the first time, a lot of time, you could ask a lot of questions about Arizona. But on the one hand, okay, here's my thoughts on this. On the one hand, I love this because it gives the operators and the retailers an answer to the question of why come to my physical place to shop.
Without a doubt.
Right? Why come to a location to begin with, which is always an important question. Mm-hmm. Being able to shop with a glass of wine hand or a beer has long been a dream of mine, and I'm guessing countless other moms particularly as well. But on the other hand, I do worry about some of the operational consequences of this. So, for example, things that came to mind for me would be you're going to have a lot more spillage, so you're going to have a lot of more product that gets ruined. And the other part to me that I think is interesting in this is from a staffing perspective, it's going to require a new task for the retailers. They're going to have to watch whether or not they want to allow very drunk people into their store to shop, which you already know the staffing pressures. You already know the training pressures. That's a thing that I don't know that many retailers are going to want to take on. So I'm guessing the mall operator in this case is going to have to lean pretty heavily into that for this to work. And net, it could come out on top. But there's just concerns that I have thinking about it. Don't know that I wouldn't do it. I think it's a cool idea. It's worth trying, especially at the early stages that it is now. But those are my thoughts.
I think your worst case scenario planning, which is not a bad thing. Definitely there are going to be some situations. But I mean, Chris, look at Vegas and New Orleans. Like this is already a thing happening. Like there's ways to make this happen successfully. So I think that it can be, all the things you're talking about can be solved. The drunk people, like, I don't know, you've got restaurants in every mall in the country right now where people could be getting drunk in the restaurant and then traveling through, and you have the same mall security that handles those issues, or people could be coming from home. I think there's some extremes, but I do love this with the right safety precautions in place. And I think it could be really good for the retailers. Like I've made plenty of purchase that I wasn't planning on after, a store has invited me in and given me a glass of wine to drink while I'm shopping. You get more excited about the experience. My husband certainly will be coming along with me if we're ever shopping in Arizona, which I think,
a good point.
Again, to your earlier point, like brings up this now as a destination. Like this is a place where, yes, on a date night, like my husband and I now would be going to that together versus before when he would be like, I want nothing to do with your shopping trips.
Yeah.
No way. But now if he can have a beer and like hang out and it can be more of a social experience, I think this could be bringing more people to the mall.
Sit on the sofa in the Name Your Apparel brand store with a beer while you try on clothes and he gives you his opinion. Yeah, right. I think it's real. I think what Vegas you're saying is real.
I think Vegas is such a great analog for that because they do it so well. Like they have TVs set up playing a golf tournament so that my husband can sit there and drink a bourbon and watch a golf tournament while I'm shopping for something.
I think it is. The only point I'd make about Vegas, and then we'll close out the show, is like Vegas is everyone's in a different mindset, number one, psychologically. And two, the margin structure of the casino works differently than the margin structure of the mall operator and the retailer. So I think that affords them more ability to put in place some of the guardrails here to make this successful. That's the only thing I'll say. But I still think I love it. I would test it. I'm curious to see what it is. And net, I think the things you're talking about are very promising.
But in this case, the operators can also get the licenses, so they can be getting the revenue from selling beer and wine too. That was part of this as well, which I think is that also plays into this angle, too, where there's benefits here for them to make
high
this
margin category.
40%,
alcohol
right?
and beer. Oh God, I don't even know. Like probably even higher. Liquor is probably even better. I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, Chris.